Babylon is in total chaos because the 10th floor has finally been cleared, something no one thought would happen anytime soon. People all over the city are glued to the news, arguing and guessing who could have done it. Some say it must be the Black Dragon Guild, others swear it was the Sword Saint, and some think a top-ranked hunter is hiding it on purpose for drama. Everyone is excited, but no one has answers. While all of this is happening, Kim is sitting calmly in a cafe across from the Hunter Management Bureau, sipping a caramel macchiato and listening to people talk about him without realizing he's the one they're looking for. He finds it funny how close they are to the truth without knowing it. He jokes to himself that victory makes even bitter coffee taste sweet, then casually teases the Sword Emperor's ghost, enjoying the fact that the once proud legend now has to call him Mr. Gongja because of their bet. The Sword Emperor is completely humiliated and miserable, begging Kim to replace his skill so he can disappear, but Kim just laughs and calls them lifelong partners, making it worse. To avoid looking suspicious in public, Kim pretends to talk through earphones so people don't think he's talking to himself. As he relaxes, he notices the countdown in the sky and realizes about an hour and a half has passed since the floor was cleared, meaning guilds should be closing in on him soon. Right on cue, a well-groomed brown cat with gold coins hanging from her neck walks up to him. Kim instantly recognizes her as a famous figure from the future, but he hides it and treats her like an ordinary cat. The cat rubs against him, curls up on his lap, and acts harmless, clearly testing him while pretending to be just a cute animal. Not long after, several hunters with high-quality gear enter the cafe and approach Kim directly, confirming his identity. The moment they see his hunter card, panic breaks out as they start calling their guilds, reporting that they found the person who cleared the 10th floor. Each of them is desperate not to lose him to another guild. Kim stays calm and lays down his conditions before listening to any offers. First, he demands that no guild leak his identity to the media until the countdown reaches 0, because he doesn't want reporters slowing him down when the 11th floor opens. Then he points out that they're causing a scene in a public place. Realizing people are watching, the hunters quickly rent out the cafe and clear everyone out within minutes. Once they're alone, the real bidding begins. One by one, guild representatives start throwing out massive offers, including tens of thousands of gold, executive positions, instructor roles, and special privileges. The tension rises as each guild tries to outbid the others, showing just how valuable Kim has become overnight. Just as the competition reaches its peak, the quiet brown cat finally makes her move. She jumps down, transforms into a woman, and reveals herself as the Countess, one of the highest-ranked hunters and the leader of the Merchant Association. Without hesitation, she raises the stakes dramatically by offering 50,000 gold on the spot and a position as assistant leader. At that moment, Kim realizes that this isn't just recruitment anymore. He has officially entered the world where top guilds fight over him, and the balance of power inside the tower is starting to shift. The moment the Countess reveals herself, the atmosphere completely changes. She casually points out that Kim isn't even surprised to see a cat turn into a human, praising him for staying calm. Kim jokes back that after seeing ghosts on a daily basis, things like this don't really shock him anymore. While the Countess laughs and enjoys the situation, the other guild representatives suddenly fall silent. Just minutes ago, they were loudly competing over money and positions, but now none of them dare to interrupt her. One HR manager tries to argue that offering 50,000 gold and an assistant leader position is excessive, but the moment the Countess looks at him with a quiet smile, he immediately backs down. Everyone understands the gap in authority. She bluntly tells the middle managers to leave unless they can offer more, effectively dismissing them. One by one, they retreat, making way for the real decision makers. Not long after, the cafe fills again, this time with the highest-ranked hunters themselves. The Viper from the OJP sect storms in loudly, followed by the Inquisitor of the Pantheon, the Paladin from the Watchman League, and finally the Black Witch, leader of the Black Dragon Guild. These are legendary figures Kim had only ever seen in interviews, now sitting right in front of him. The Countess casually greets them, reminiscing about the old days, while the Viper complains that things have gone too far. Despite the tension, the Inquisitor insists they all order drinks first, treating the situation with polite formality. Even the barista freezes in fear when realizing he's serving coffee to the most powerful hunters in Babylon. When they finally ask him what he wants, all eyes turn toward him, carefully studying his reaction. Kim remains relaxed and politely asks for hot chocolate instead of coffee, deliberately showing composure. Inside, he understands exactly what's happening. This meeting isn't a coincidence. The guild leaders plan to surround him together, hoping pressure would make him crack. But after surviving the 10th floor, this kind of intimidation feels meaningless. Kim realizes something important. Even if they tried to kill him, it wouldn't matter. That realization gives him absolute confidence. The Black Witch then speaks directly, asking whether Kim plans to join a guild or stand alone, like the Sword Star. She explains that clearing the 10th floor isn't just a personal achievement, it's a chance to revive the tower's economy, inspire hunters, open new trade routes, and attract people from the outside world. Kim immediately understands. He isn't just a fighter now, he's a symbol, a living advertisement for a new era. Any guild that recruits him becomes the face of progress, while the others fall behind. Feeling that it's unfair to let one guild monopolize that power, Kim proposes an unexpected solution. Instead of bidding wars, they'll settle things with a poker game. Whoever wins earns his membership, but if Kim himself wins, he'll join all their guilds at once, without special ranks, yet be treated as an equal to the leaders. The offer shocks everyone. Some laugh, others hesitate. But one by one, they agree. Skills are banned, tricks are forbidden, and the rules are set. As the cards are dealt, Kim quietly makes a deal of his own. He tells the Sword Emperor that if he calls him Mr. Gongja until the end of the game, he'll finally be released from that humiliation afterward. In exchange, the Sword Emperor will secretly tell Kim everyone's cards. The Sword Emperor instantly accepts, overjoyed. With the most powerful hunters in the tower sitting at one table, unaware they're already at a disadvantage. The poker game begins, and from the very first round it becomes clear that Kim has a massive advantage. The Sword Emperor, now acting like a very excited cheat sheet, constantly whispers information about everyone's hands. He tells Kim when to fold, when someone is bluffing, and when it's safe to push forward. Kim calmly follows the advice, folding at the right moments and calling or raising at perfect times. After dozens of rounds, the Viper completely loses his composure. He slams the table, accusing Kim of cheating and claiming there's no way a low-ranked hunter could win this consistently. Kim stays relaxed, sipping his drink and casually suggesting that maybe he's just good at poker. When the Viper mocks his rank, Kim calmly corrects him, revealing that he recently advanced from Class F to Class E. That revelation only frustrates the Viper further, especially when he realizes he's out of chips and eliminated. The Inquisitor cheerfully welcomes him to the loser's table, and even hands him another drink, making the situation even more humiliating. As the game continues, only 3 players remain: Kim, the Black Witch, and the Paladin. The Paladin studies her cards for a long moment before admitting defeat. She openly acknowledges that Kim must be using some kind of ability, but explains that everyone already suspected that from the start. From her perspective, the gamble was still worth it. Even if they lose, Kim promised to join all guilds, which is still a favorable outcome. With that, she gracefully exits the game. The final showdown is between Kim and the Black Witch. As they raise the stakes, the Black Witch starts a quiet, serious conversation. She talks about her past, losing her family to war, and how the tower became a place where nationality and background no longer mattered. Kim responds honestly, saying the outside world treats the tower like a dumping ground, while she counters that even something beautiful can grow in a terrible place. As the final cards are drawn, it looks like Kim is losing. The Black Witch has a strong hand, and the odds are against him. Despite that, Kim goes all in. He explains his ambitions clearly. He isn't satisfied with just the 10th floor. He plans to climb every floor, all the way to the top, and surpass everyone. He respects the current leaders, but still sees them as competitors. He's willing to let them use his reputation to stabilize the tower, as long as they help him climb higher. In response, the Black Witch pushes all her chips forward as well. When the final cards are revealed, Kim wins with a full house. The agreement is finalized. He will be treated as an equal to the guild leaders, while remaining a member of all guilds at once. After the game, Kim prepares to leave, mentioning that the 11th floor will open soon. Before going, he shares a valuable hint as a gesture of goodwill. The next set of floors revolves around role-playing mechanics. The guild leaders immediately understand how important this information is, and promise to repay him later. Later, after resting, Kim walks through Babylon, which is now in full celebration mode. Hunters are drinking, singing, and celebrating the fact that the 10th floor has finally been cleared. Yet one question dominates every conversation. No one knows who actually did it. Kim walks among them unnoticed, listening to people speculate, barely holding back laughter. As the countdown in the sky reaches its final seconds, the crowd begins counting together. Just before the timer hits 0, news sites finally release the truth. Headlines explode across the city, revealing that the 10th floor was cleared by a rookie Class E hunter named Kim Gongja, who joined all 5 major guilds simultaneously. As the final second ticks away, Kim smiles quietly, welcoming the beginning of a new era one, where he finally stands at the center of the world. As the countdown in the sky finally hits 0, the entire plaza erupts. Thousands of hunters cheer, throw their hats into the air, and celebrate like a new era has just begun. At the same time, the system announces that the tutorial phase of the tower is officially over. This moment marks the real beginning of the tower's story. The excitement spreads fast. Even retired or shop-owning hunters, people who had long given up on climbing, are shouting again. Everyone is chanting for the 11th floor to open. Then, the light forming the countdown bursts, blinding the crowd for a moment. When the light fades, a massive figure appears in the sky. She looks like a goddess, or angel, wearing a white dress glowing with holy light. The plaza falls silent. Hunters stare in awe, whispering about how beautiful and divine she looks. The Sword Emperor immediately explains that this isn't a real goddess at all. It's just a system, NPC. Basically, a pre-recorded message that plays once someone clears the 10th floor. While everyone else is mesmerized, Kim quietly asks how he's so sure. Before the message can finish, someone suddenly leaps into the air. It's the Sword Saint. In one smooth motion, he jumps across rooftops, reaches the bell tower, and slices straight through the figure in the sky. The image splits for a moment, and then instantly restores itself, proving it was never real. Without hesitation, the Sword Saint calmly says, "Send me," and vanishes in a pillar of light, entering the 11th floor ahead of everyone else. The entire plaza freezes. Moments later, the Inquisitor laughs, praises the Sword Saint for moving first again, and also disappears after saying the command word. Panic spreads instantly. Hunters shout the phrase so they don't fall behind. Pillars of light erupt everywhere, as thousands are sent upward. The system message continues, explaining that from the 11th to the 20th floor, hunters' beliefs will be tested, but almost no one listens anymore. Everyone is too focused on moving forward. Kim lingers briefly and speaks with the Paladin, who reflects on how people no longer appreciate the tower's miracle itself. Their quiet moment ends when streamers and reporters swarm Kim. Keeping it short, Kim says he plans to clear the 20th floor too, then calmly says, "Send me," and disappears before anyone can stop him. The light fades, and Kim finds himself on a massive battlefield. Endless waves of goblins, orcs, and monsters flood in from the horizon. Human soldiers in old-style armor are desperately defending a harbor with their backs to a river. Arrows rain down, and screams echo everywhere. Hunters panic as they realize this is nothing like the safe hunting grounds below. This is real war. A general NPC begs the hunters to defend the Empire's supply line from the Demon King's army. A quest window appears, warning that if this battle is lost, the next floor will not open. Confusion quickly turns into action. The Sword Saint is already on the front lines, cutting down monsters with ease. Seeing him fight snaps the other hunters out of shock, and thousands charge forward behind him. While the battlefield turns into chaos, Kim stays in the rear, smiling calmly. Then, a voice speaks directly to him. The system welcomes Kim Gongja and announces that his special rewards for clearing the 10th floor are about to be granted. This is when Kim realizes the real challenge has only just begun. Kim finally receives the full set of rewards for clearing the 10th floor, and this is where the tower system starts to feel completely broken in his favor. First, he gets the God of War's blessing, which gives him a full strategic map of the tower from the 11th to the 20th floors. On this map, monsters appear as red dots and humans as blue dots, like a real-time strategy game. While the battlefield is still raging in front of him, Kim can already see everything happening from above. The Sword Emperor immediately complains that this is blatantly unfair, but before he can finish ranting, Kim gets even more rewards. The God of Mortal's blessing activates next, letting Kim see the names, locations, and abilities of every NPC from the 11th to the 20th floors. Then the God of Trade's blessing appears, allowing him to freely claim one item from any floor in that range. At this point, Kim and the Sword Emperor are both speechless. While other hunters are desperately fighting goblins and orcs, Kim realizes the tower isn't just a death game. It's a perfectly designed system where thinking matters more than brute force. Kim explains that from the 11th to the 20th floors, the tower's theme completely changes into a Demon King invasion scenario. Monsters no longer act alone, but move as organized armies, turning every floor into a massive battlefield. There are only two ways to survive this kind of war. Either become a one-man army, like the Sword Saint, cutting down monsters alone, or build and command an army yourself. Kim chooses the second option. He checks his status window and confirms that his skills, blessings, and copied abilities are all active. Then he starts abusing the system intelligently. Using the NPC list, granted by the god of mortals, he filters the information step by step. First, he limits the list to NPCs on the 11th floor. Then, he narrows it down further by sorting for the highest combat and leadership abilities. Finally, he isolates the top 3 NPCs who possess military command skills. With another command, their locations appear as green dots on his minimap. Kim doesn't know how to lead an army himself, but that doesn't matter, because he can simply steal that expertise. Ignoring the Sword Emperor's furious protests about cheating in foundations, Kim heads straight toward the closest and strongest commander, General Sarbus-Ajum, the man directing the defense of the harbor. Kim calmly lies to him, claiming he has a special sacrificial ability that will bless the entire battlefield if he dies, guaranteeing victory for the Empire. The general is horrified, but torn between morality and duty. Kim pushes him further, saying he will die no matter what, and that it would be better for the Empire's commander to bear that responsibility than leave it to monsters or chance. Overwhelmed by guilt and desperation, the general finally agrees. He performs a clean execution, believing he is sacrificing a hero for the greater good. The moment Kim dies, his plan succeeds. The system activates, confirming his death and immediately copying General Sarbus-Ajum's skills at random. Kim wakes up satisfied, having successfully stolen top-tier military command abilities. While the Sword Emperor screams in disbelief at Kim's shameless strategy, Kim is already prepared to repeat this process as many times as needed. This moment makes it clear that Kim isn't just surviving the tower anymore, he's dismantling it by turning its own rules into weapons. Kim takes full advantage of the chaos on the battlefield. Instead of fighting like an ordinary hunter, he rides alongside the human army's general and starts directing troop movements. Using the minimap he received as a reward, he guides the army through areas with fewer monsters, allowing them to push forward safely while other hunters are still fighting head-on. From the soldier's perspective, Kim looks like a hero chosen by divine will, especially because the general openly trusts him and follows his directions. What truly seals that trust is Kim's new skill, Battlefield Eyes. This ability lets him instantly read the battlefield, identify weak points in enemy formations, and tell where allies can advance safely. Combined with his future knowledge and repeated attempts, Kim knows exactly how this general thinks and reacts. That's why the general never doubts him. Kim also reveals the legendary holy sword he claimed earlier. The sword isn't just powerful, it's a symbol deeply tied to the Ajum Empire's founding myth. When the soldiers see it glowing with holy light, their morale skyrockets. To them, Kim isn't just a hunter anymore. He's a living legend from prophecy. The army's fighting spirit surges, and the charge becomes overwhelming. While other hunters are still locked in brutal frontline combat, Kim essentially becomes the brain of the operation. Soldiers follow him and the general in perfect coordination, cutting straight through the monster ranks. Other hunters begin to notice something strange. Kim isn't just fighting, he's commanding. The army finally breaks through and reaches the enemy commander of the 11th floor, a goblin king. Although powerful, it's still vulnerable to coordinated assault. Kim activates his goblin-related skill and deliberately confuses the Goblin King by speaking its own language, causing hesitation and panic among nearby monsters. That single moment of confusion is enough. Kim strikes decisively. The Goblin King is defeated, and the general immediately announces it across the battlefield. The message spreads like wildfire. Once the enemy leader falls, monster morale collapses. The remaining enemies flee, and the hunters clean up the stragglers with ease. The battle ends in a complete victory. The system announces the 11th floor clear, something that normally takes days or weeks, but this time is done in less than a day due to coordination and leadership, rather than raw strength alone. When contributions are calculated, Kim ranks first overall, surpassing even top-tier hunters like the Sword Saint and other guild leaders. This shocks everyone, especially because Kim still doesn't even have an official title. His reputation grows rapidly, and whispers spread through the battlefield about the mysterious hunter who keeps standing above everyone else. Despite the celebration, Kim reassures the Sword Emperor that he hasn't abandoned sword training forever. This instantly lifts the ghost's mood, showing how simple and pride-driven the Sword Emperor really is. Before being transported away, Kim shares a quiet moment with the general, who sincerely thanks him. The general admits he doubted the prophecy at first, but now truly believes heroes from another world can change fate. Kim accepts the gratitude calmly, knowing he's already moved on mentally to the next challenge. Finally, the system selects the top 10 contributors, including Kim, and sends them ahead to the 12th floor first. While others must wait, Kim advances once again, always a step ahead, not because of brute force, but because he understands how to use people, systems, and information better than anyone else.